God morning, God morning, God morning. How you loving, how you loving, how you loving. I'm coming to you from Dallas, from my family's home. I got my earbuds in because I don't want to wake up the entire house. Tell me if you can hear me. Sound. Is the sound good? Let me put it in the chat as well. I'm making sure that we are good. Is the sound good? So, welcome. We're reading the entire Bible, including the Apocrypha, and we are currently in the Book of Enoch. It is absolutely mind blowing. I'm in Dallas. If you're brand new here, I'm Reverend Valerie Love. Welcome. We are not reading the Bible because we think it's our duty to read the Bible because that's what we were told to do. Yes. Oh, good. Yes, love you. Welcome, welcome. We are not reading the Bible because that's what we were told to do to be good Christians. We are not reading the Bible because we want to be closer to God. We are reading the Bible for the exact opposite reason. We are reading the Bible because we know and we are learning for ourselves what the Bible truly is. And I discovered over many years of reading, research, and digging deep into history, archaeology, biology, astronomy, astrology, many of the sciences, a dabble in physics, metaphysics. I have found that the Bible doesn't have anything to do with God. That was a discovery that I came to. And you get to come to the discovery of or the determination. It could be a discovery, or it could be a determination, or it could be both. It could be a determination based on a discovery. What the Bible really is. What is this book that they keep putting in front of us? What is it for? Who was it written for? Who wrote it? Why did they write it? Where did they write it? What was the backdrop? What languages? And how has that influenced our current world? How has that caused us to be how we are as a society, as a civilization, individually? We're asking deep existential questions here. Where did we come from? We are approaching all of the broad questions of humanity right here in this series. And I love that you're here with me, and I love that we get to do this together. And pardon yesterday, because yesterday I recorded yesterday for us before I went to the rodeo. It was in the afternoon. As you can see, it was middle of the day. I recorded it. I'm like, okay, it's perfect. I recorded it, I don't know, maybe around two or three, somewhere around there on Friday afternoon, because Friday night we were going to the rodeo. So that way, and I knew we were getting back really late here in Dallas. And Dallas is already an hour ahead of Eastern time. So I got it all situated for you, and it was supposed to go live at 7 a.m. Eastern time. It did not, and I have no idea why. Yesterday, which is Saturday, was my grandson's birthday. Go Ether, he is 13. Wow, my daughter has a teenager. My daughter has a teenager. So we were here with the family, mom and dad, the kids, and the cake, and fulfilling Ether's birthday wishes. And so after the festivities, I went and checked, or sometime yesterday, I checked the YouTube channel for like comments and things like that, and it had never gone live. I'm like, I was not happy. And therefore, I went ahead and released it to make sure it went up yesterday, because we are on our everyday sequence. And we cannot, it's our cadence. It's our cadence. So every day at 7 a.m., most days we're live. Yet if I'm on a plane or I'm at an event, my life is very full. If I'm on a plane or if I'm at an event or if I am otherwise not able to do 7 a.m., you are going to have the reading no matter what. 7 a.m. every morning. That's my promise to you until we get through all these books. So when it didn't happen, it kind of made me feel like I didn't fulfill my word. Yet I do understand that I did fulfill my word because it was recorded, it was ready, it was set to go at 7 a.m. Must have made a mistake somewhere along the road. So please forgive me. And we'll chalk it up to human error. And as soon as I saw that yesterday, I released it so that you could have the day's reading, even though it was late. It was like 4 or 4:30, something like that. You could have the day's reading. So if anyone was wondering, where's Rev? Is she still in Dallas? Yes, I'm still in Dallas. The event is over. I'm now with my family, and I leave tomorrow to go back home. And don't worry, back to Miami. And don't worry, I don't um I don't leave until later in the afternoon. So we're live. We're good. We're good. I won't be on a plane during morning hours. We are good. Okay, so let's get into this Book of Enoch screen share. And thank you for the happy birthday wishes for my grandson. Thank you so much. So appreciate that. It's the little things. That's love, and I love that. All right. Where are we? We are in Book of Enoch, Book 1, the very first Book of Enoch, chapter 55. And after this, the head of days repented and said, I have destroyed to no purpose all those who dwell upon the dry ground. And he swore by his great name, from now on I will not act like this towards all those who dwell upon the dry ground. And I will put a sign in heaven, and it will be a pledge of faith between me and them forever, so long as heaven is above the earth. And this will be in accordance with my command. When I want to take hold of them with the hands of the angels, on the day of distress and pain in the face of my anger and my wrath and anger will remain upon them, says the Lord of spirits. You powerful kings who dwell upon the dry ground will be obliged to watch my chosen one sit down on the throne of my glory and judge in the name of the Lord of spirits, Azazel and all his associates and all his hosts. And I saw there the hosts of the angels of punishment as they went, and they were holding chains of iron and bronze. And I asked the angel of peace who went with me, saying, to whom are those who are holding the chains going? And he said to me, each to his own chosen ones, and to their beloved ones, so that they may be thrown into the chasm in the depths of the valley. And then that valley will be filled with their chosen and beloved ones, and the days of their life will be at an end, and the days of their leading astray will no longer be counted. And in those days, the angels will gather together and will throw themselves toward the east upon the Parthians and Medes. They will stir up the kings so that a disturbing spirit will come upon them, and they will drive them from their thrones, and they will come out like lions from their lairs, and like wolves in the middle of their flocks. And they will go up and trample on the land of my chosen ones. And the land of my chosen ones will become before them a tramping ground and a beaten track. But the city of my righteous ones will be a hindrance to their horses, and they will stir up slaughter amongst themselves, and their own right will be strong, their own right hand will be strong against them. And a man will not admit to knowing his neighbor or his brother, nor a son, his father, or his mother, until through their death. There are corpses enough, and their punishment it will not be in vain. And in those days, Sheol will open its mouth, and they will sink into it and their destruction. Sheol will swallow up the sinners in front of the faces of the chosen. And it came to pass after this that I saw another host of chariots with men riding on them. And they came upon the wind from the east and from the west to the south. And the sound of the noise of their chariots was heard. And when this occurred, the holy ones observed it from heaven, and the pillars of the earth were shaken from their foundations, and the sound was heard from the ends of the earth to the ends of heaven throughout one day. And all will fall down and worship the Lord of spirits. And this is the end of the second parable. And I began to speak the third parable about the righteous and about the chosen. Blessed are you, the righteous and the chosen, for your lot will be glorious. And the righteous will be in the light of the sun, and the chosen in the light of eternal life. And there will be no end to the days of their life, and the days of the holy will be without number. And they will seek the light and will find righteousness with the Lord of spirits. Peace be to the righteous with the Lord of the world. And after this, it will be said to the holy that they should seek in heaven the secrets of righteousness, the lot of faith. For it has become bright as the sun upon the dry ground, and darkness has passed away. And there will be ceaseless light, and to a limit of days they will not come, for darkness will have been destroyed previously. And the light will endure in front of the Lord of spirits, and the Lord of uprightness will endure in front of the Lord of spirits forever. And in those days, my eyes saw the secrets of the flashes of lightning and the lights and the regulations governing them, and they flash for a blessing or a curse as the Lord of spirits wishes. And there I saw the secrets of the thunder, and how when it crashes in heaven above, the sound of it is heard. And they showed me the dwellings of the dry ground and the sound of the thunder for peace and for blessing, or for a curse, according to the word of the Lord of spirits. And after this, all the secrets of the lights and of the flashes of lightning were shown to me. They flashed to bring blessing and satisfaction. In the 50th year, in the 7th month, on the 14th day of the month of the life of Enoch. In that parable, I saw how the heaven of heavens was shaken violently, and the host of the Most High and the angels, 1,000 thousands and 10,000 times 10,000, were extremely disturbed. And then I saw the head of days sitting on the throne of his glory, and the angels and righteous were sitting around him. And a great trembling seized me, and fear took hold of me, and my loins collapsed and gave way, and my whole face being melted, and I fell upon my face. And the holy Michael sent another holy angel, one of the holy angels, and he raised me. And when he raised me, my spirit returned, for I had been unable to endure the sight of that host and the disturbance and the shaking of heaven. And the holy angel Michael said to me, "What sight has disturbed you like this? Until today has the day of his mercy lasted, and he has been merciful and long-suffering towards those who dwell upon the dry ground. And when the day and the power and the punishment and the judgment come that the Lord of spirits has prepared for those who worship the righteous judgment, and for those who deny the righteous judgment, and for those who take his name in vain, and that day has been prepared for the chosen a covenant, but for the sinners a visitation." And on that day, two monsters will be separated from one another. A female monster, whose name is Leviathan, to dwell in the depths of the sea above the springs of the waters. And the name of the male is Behemoth, who occupies with his breast an immense desert named Dendane, on the east of the garden where the chosen and the righteous dwell, where my great grandfather was received, who was seventh from Adam, the first man whom the Lord of spirits made. And I asked that other angel to show me the power of those monsters, how they were separated on one day and thrown, one into the depths of the sea and the other onto the dry ground of the desert. And he said to me, Son of man, you here wish to know what is secret. And the other angel spoke to me, the one who went with me, and showed me what is secret, what is first and last in heaven, in the heights and under the dry ground, in the depths and at the ends of heaven, and at the foundations of heaven, and in the storehouses of the winds. And how the spirits are distributed, and how they are weighed, and how the springs and the winds are counted according to the power of their spirit, and the power of the light of the moon, and the divisions of the stars according to their names, and how all the divisions are made, and the thunder according to the places where it falls, and all the divisions that are made in lightning, so that it may flash, and its hosts how they quickly obey. For the thunder hath fixed intervals, which have been given to its sound for waiting, and the thunder and the lightning are not separate, although not the same. Through a spirit the two of them move inseparably. For when the lightning flashes, the thunder utters its voice, and the spirit at the proper time causes it to rest, and divides equally between them, because the storehouse of the times for their occurrence is like that of the sand. And each of them at the proper time is held by a rein, and turned back by the power of the spirit, and likewise driven forward according to the number of the regions of the earth. And the spirit of the sea is male and strong, and according to the power of its strength, the spirit turns it back with a rein, and likewise it is driven forward and scattered amongst all the mountains of the earth. And the spirit of the hoarfrost is its own angel, and the spirit of the hail is a good angel. And the spirit of the snow has withdrawn because of its power, and it has a special spirit, and that which rises from it is like smoke, and its name is frost. And the spirit of the mist is not associated with them in their storehouse, but has a special storehouse. For its course is glorious both in light and darkness, and in winter and in summer, and its storehouse is an angel. The spirit of the dew has its dwelling at the ends of heaven, and is connected with the storehouses of the rain. And its course is in winter and in summer, and its clouds. And the clouds of the mist are associated, and one gives to the other. And when the spirit of the rain moves from its storehouse, the angels come and open the storehouse and bring it out. And when it is scattered over all the dry ground, it joins with all the water that is on the dry ground. And whenever it joins with the water that is on the dry ground, blank, the manuscript likely is blank there or lost. For the waters are for those who dwell upon the dry ground, for they are nourishment for the dry ground, from the Most High who is in heaven. Therefore, there is a fixed measure for the rain, and the angels comprehended. All these things I saw towards the garden of righteousness. And the angel of peace who is with me said to me, These two monsters, prepared in accordance with the greatness of the Lord, will feed them that punishment of the Lord. And children will be killed with their mothers, and sons with their fathers, when the punishment of the Lord of spirits rests upon them. It will remain resting, so that the punishment of the Lord of spirits may not come in vain upon these. Afterwards, afterwards, the judgment will be according to his mercy and his patience. Do you notice how they're talking about weather control? If you came here for the reading of the Book of Enoch, there you have it. Now let's get into the commentary. Do you notice how technological the languaging is? Do you notice that the languaging is not natural, it's technological? That there's a gate for this, there's a dispensation for this, there's a time for this, there's an angel over this, there's an angel over that. This one opens this storehouse, this one opens this gate. I saw where the thunder was kept and the lightning is kept, and there were chariots. How about them chariots? The chariots. Chariots coming on the wind from the east. Chariots. That's the best way he likely knew to describe these vessels, let's call them vessels, that men were riding. He saw chariots with men, vessels coming on the wind. All of this description perfectly matches the Anunnaki, perfectly matches the Anunnaki. Not because I want it to, just because it does. And what do I mean by that? If we look at the ancient world, and when I say the ancient world, I'm talking before 3000 BC, before the Anunnaki left. You can imagine that they left a vast store of stories upon the consciousness of humanity that was so great, imprinted upon even the unconscious, that we kept telling these stories over and over and over as we do today. And in the telling of the stories, though it becomes legendary, legendary means that they are adding bits and parts that are not truthful. That's a legendary story. A legendary story is different from a myth. A myth is a story that is not real, that encodes truth. That is what scholars, all scholars, call the Anunnaki. I won't say all scholars because that's not true, not all scholars. The general consensus, let's just call it the consensus in scholarship with regard to the Anunnaki, is that they were myths, mythological gods and goddesses with no physical substance whatsoever. And the idea of aliens is completely scoffed, laughed at, and tossed off the table with indignation, with "how dare you speak of aliens?" Neil deGrasse Tyson. Anyway, all of that is to mainstream scholars, I'll say mainstream, that's all what they call myth. Legend is different. Legend is an actual physical, real world being like Sargon of Akkad. He was an actual historical person. We have proof of it. It's an archaeological record. We know Sargon of Akkad. And supposedly he established the first empire. I don't agree with that, yet that's what mainstream scholars say. Sargon was an actual historical figure, a ruler that we have points of evidence for beyond the Bible. And I don't even know if he's mentioned in the Bible at all. Who knows? because I think they took Sargon and turned him into Moses in the Bible, or they took elements of the Sargon story and they when they were crafting the Moses uh, character. Sargon has legendary elements added to his story, such as his mother placed him in a basket sealed with bitumen or pitch and placed him on the river Euphrates because his life was in danger. Well, and then a farmer found him, and the farmer raised him with no knowledge of who he was. This is called a motif. This is called, there's a divine child motif, there's the exposed infant motif, exposed hero motif, or exposed infant motif, and there's the foundling motifs. There's three different motifs, and I go into each of these motifs in my book, The Real God Is Not in the Bible. Pick it up on my Kickstarter. Link below. Sargon, historical figure, yet parts of his story are legendary. Because when a person does something great in the minds of the people who were living with him, in the minds of people now, most people don't even know about Sargon of Akkad. I don't even think we studied him when I was in school. Anyway, parts of the story, as they continue telling the story becomes more what they would call legendary, which means, oh, he killed a lion with his bare hands. That's a legend. As we keep telling the story grows and it becomes legendary. That is very different from a myth. A myth and a legend, two totally different things. They don't mean the same thing. They're not. The only thing I would say that connects the two is a story, some kind of storyline. They're not the same, right? Okay, let's see, Tia. These stories of Enoch and Anunnaki correspond to many of these stories in the Hindu scriptures I've seen on the TV series I've been watching for over a decade now. What is the TV series? Could you tell us what the TV series is? Because I would love to see that. Thank you so much, Dia. And you know what I love? I love your perspective, Dia, because you have studied the Hindu scriptures for so long, for so many years, and the Hindu goddesses speak to you, and that speaks to you. So you can connect the dots for us. Family, all the stories are saying the same thing. So if you come from, let's say, a background in Mexico, and let's say you're very connected with the Maya. The Maya were so influenced by the Anunnaki, it's astounding. The Maya had accurate star maps. The Maya had accurate astrology. The Maya had long count time, and more of a, I won't call it short time calendar. They had access to information that it would have taken thousands of years to compile because they knew about the great cycles, also known in the Hindu world, in the world of India, yuga cycles. Dia, do you study yuga cycles? I haven't studied them in depth. I've only looked at them on a cursory level, so I cannot give you all of the details with regard to yuga cycles. Yet I can tell you this, that there's a cycle of creation, there's a cycle of enlightenment, then there's a cycle of destruction, cataclysms. And humanity has endured many cataclysms, and more are coming. It's and it's cyclical. It's cyclical according to yuga cycles and according to Mayan astrology. Now let's go further. None of these beings that Enoch is talking about are angels. None of them are angels according to what the modern reader has in our minds when we hear the word angel. If you said the word angel to a person who lived 2,000 years ago or 3,000 years ago, it would be an extreme different concept If you open the brain and look up angel inside the brain of a modern person, you will see a huge being of light with wings, different colors for different stations, choirs of angels. You know, you have the choirs, you have the seraphim, you have the cherubim, you have all the. Doreen Virtue wrote all those books. Remember back in the day, she wrote all those books before she came to Jesus again. All of those uh, strata, categories of angels, that's a modern concept. And a lot of it is drawn from the Book of Enoch. So if you go back 2,000 years ago, or you go back 3,000 years ago, let's say 3,000 years ago, we are now at 1000 BCE. And if you open the brain of that person and you look inside and you look up angel, you would see a blank space. It didn't exist. Angel, what's that? If you went back to 1,000 years before Jesus, angel, what's an angel? We must have the ability to teleport. And I'm not talking physically, I'm speaking metaphysically. You must be able to transport your modern day consciousness to ancient Rome to understand the New Testament. If you don't understand ancient Rome, you will not understand the New Testament. We must be able to transport our consciousness back to ancient Egypt. If you don't understand ancient Egypt, the Levant, Canaan, there's no way you can understand the Hebrew Bible. It's just not possible. That's where it came from. That's where it originated. You would not understand Harry Potter if you live 2,000 years from now and you're living with a London. Stay with me on this one. You're living in a London that is 2,000 years from now. It's got lights, it's got high-speed trains, it's got a sky Uber with no driver. It's super modern. It's 2,000 years from now. And then you read Harry Potter and you read about a car and you never saw a car in your life. And then you read about a car that flies through the air. It's fantastical. Well, it's fantastical to us as well. Yet we understand the concept of a car and we understand the concept of magic. So magic and a car together. And yeah, we have things that fly, which is a plane. So we can piece together the story. It's made for us and we get the story. When she puts tropes in the story, like the baby who was the killed parents, we get that. Heroes that have their parents killed by the bad guy, ooh, we get that. When she writes the prophecy, there's always a prophecy, right? The prophecy says one with the da 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 will have the power to destroy the Dark Lord. When she says prophecy, we understand a prophecy. When she shows us London, oh, we understand when we look at the train that takes them from station 9 3/4, that takes them from the train, from the regular British train track. We understand trains in London. Did I get on the train in London? I did. I've been on trains in London. Was thinking for a moment. I've been to London, but was I on the train? Yes, I was on the train, and was I on the bus? I was on the bus too. Yeah, of course, because we went to Stonehenge on a bus. Anyway, and then you see the double-decker buses. When you see in Harry Potter the double-decker bus that's magical, the night bus, we get that because we in our modern world see a bus and a car and a train. We understand London has train stations. We get all that. Now, fast forward 2,000 years, and the people on the planet have never seen a bus or a train or a car. They've never seen it. Kid is like, what's a bus? Just like our kids ask us, what's a DVD? Just like my grandkids, we had to explain what a VHS is. What's a VHS? It's a tape. What's a tape? When I say the word tape to them, they think scotch tape, duct tape. No, we're talking about a tape recording. How does that work? And you show them a VHS. And we talked about Blockbuster. And we used to go to Blockbuster every Friday and rent movies. And we had to rewind them. How did you rewind it? On a machine. What kind of machine? They had no concept. And this is fairly recent. DVDs, 20, 30 years old. And the new kids today have no concept. What's a D? And then if you show them a black and white TV that I grew up with rabbit ears, if we got rabbit ears antenna and showed it to my grandkids right now, who are 13, 11, and 10, what do you think they would say? What is that? We used to put it on top of our TV. For what? What were y'all doing? Y'all were in the Stone Ages. That's what, and that's only what, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Imagine 2,000 years in the future. I want us to understand that we don't know what these people were talking about. That's the first thing we've got to come to understand. Maybe we don't know what these people were talking about in the first place. And over the years, it's just been translated into things that we do know what they are. That way, we will not be anachronistic in our approach to the Bible and apply a modern day mind to the Bible. That's the worst thing you can do. That is the worst thing you can do, is take your today mind and think that this book has anything to do with you in the modern age. And I know what people say, oh, the Bible is timeless. The Bible has timeless principles. The Bible itself is not timeless. No, it's not. It contains timeless principles because it contains wisdom from many people over over hundreds of years, thousands of years, and before that, oral stories who were going on for who knows how long. Could have been a few thousand years. We don't know. We can't trace the oral tradition. We can't trace people telling their children the stories. We can't trace that. There's no way to trace it. It's invisible. It vanished. It lives in us through our writings. And we only have the writings so far that have survived. And we also only have the writings so far that we've found. Many more could be found. So, what are we talking about here? We cannot be deterministic in our approach to the Bible. Is this making sense? Is this making sense? 2,000 years from now, maybe 1,000 years from now, maybe 100 years from now, kids won't even know what a bus is. What's a bus? Because they're zipping off in some individual suit that they just lift up and zoom them over. They have a personal drone or something. I don't know what they're going to have. Okay, let me give you another example. Ether, he wanted a shopping spree in Walmart. My daughter asked him for his birthday. They all get to choose now for their birthday what they want. Before, she was planning all their birthdays. Now they get to choose. What do you want for your birthday? He wanted very specific things, a phone, iPhone. He got his iPhone. He wanted a shopping spree in Walmart. He got his shopping spree in Walmart. He got a lot of art supplies, which is amazing. And it's also amazing that the art gene skipped certain people in our family. My grandfather had it. My grandfather was an artist. My mother was an artist. I'm not an artist. I'm talking about a visual paint and draw artist. My grandfather was an artist. My mother was her father. My mother was an artist. I did not get that artistry. My son is an artist. My daughter didn't get it. Her son is an artist. Very fascinating how that Art, I'm talking about visual, natural ability to paint and draw, all that gifting. They had, I can point exactly to where it is in the lineage. I can see it. So if you look yesterday, so he wanted a shopping spree in Walmart. He wanted, and we got him a cake. Where do you want to eat? Either he wanted to eat at the Chinese buffet, big, huge, nice Chinese buffet. So we go to the Chinese buffet. Okay, and he's happy. He's happy. He had an amazing 13th birthday. While were at Walmart, we park in the parking lot, look up, and right above Walmart, a drone lifted up, right? And we're like, oh wow, is that a drone? Because it was pretty big for a drone. And we're like, oh my goodness, is that a drone? And one of the kids said, looks like a helicopter, but it's a small helicopter. I said, no, you can tell that it's not a helicopter because it has the four propellers and it goes like this. You know how drones do. And we were like, oh, oh, that's a food delivery drone. We started thinking about what that could be. And then as it lifted up from Walmart, it took off in a certain direction. And we were like, oh, there it goes. It's going on a delivery. Now, as we were walking in the parking lot, we look up, here comes another drone. We're like, oh, a lot of people are getting these deliveries. Now, someone is going to be watching this video 20 years from now, because I have videos that have been on YouTube for almost 20 years. Next year, or soon, will have been on YouTube for 20 years. Someone's going to watch this video 20 years from now, and they're going to think, they didn't have drone deliveries like everywhere, like drones are everywhere now. Like, wow, this is old. And it's only 20 years later. So the second drone lifted up, and we were like, oh, it is a drone. Oh, these are deliveries. And it scooted off in another direction. I say that to say this. Look, yay, money in the vortex. Look, woohoo. I did not bring my for Ether. Happy birthday. Okay, I would give him that $10. Thank you so much. Oh, that's so wonderful. He will love that. Because another thing Ether got for his birthday is Cash App. Now that he's 13, he can get Cash App. And his rich auntie, my daughter, sent him some money on Cash App. And in the group chat, the family chat, he's like, thank you, Auntie B. And I'm like, oh, rich auntie done sent you something, huh? I will give him that $10 and he will be so happy. Trust me. He will be so happy. Because Ether is like, I'm ready to get a job. He's ready to make some money. Ether is like on the money, okay? Okay, so I say all that to paint the picture that we in our modern society have no idea of what was going on the planet 2,000 years ago. And we ought to stop acting like we knew what these people were doing. We don't know what it looked like. What did a bed look like? We know what we saw in school. What were people doing? And what were they doing in different parts of the world? And when they woke up in the morning, what kind of structure did they live in? These things don't exist anymore except for certain old structures. Because after a while, Mother Nature just eats the thing, she reclaims it. So we don't know. They say there's whole cities under the Amazon. We don't know how these people lived. Did they have altars? We can find evidence of it. We can find scraps. And we're trying to put the whole puzzle pieces together. This is not an easy endeavor. What were they thinking? Now, even though we may find ruins of their temples or of their homes, what were they thinking? I'm not talking about the people who wrote the Bible. Please understand this other thing about the Bible and all of these quote unquote holy books. These books were written by the elite. Do we understand that around the whole world, people did not read or write? What were the regular people doing? The people that they would call the peasants. The books we have, they were written by scribes. In the ancient world, you had to go to school to be a scribe. In the ancient world, everybody didn't read and write. We're thinking today without asking, what was it like 2,000 years ago when Jesus was on the planet? What was it like 1,000 years before that when the Bible was being written? What was it like 2,000 years before that? We're just thinking with our modern brain, and we just go to church and we're just thinking with our modern brain, and it is such a mistake. And we miss the gold and the good because we're thinking in terms of, no, a drone and Harry Potter and our current zeitgeist, our worldview. In order to understand the people from the Bible, you must leave your worldview. You must take your worldview off for a second, put it onto the side, which is actually compassion, walking 1,000 miles in another person's shoes, as I believe the Navajo Nation taught us that. Walk a mile in another person's shoes or another person's sandals. That's the true empathy, that you can put yourself in someone else's situation, life, world, right? So we must do that to understand these books. Okay, so now once you do that, you leave your worldview for a minute, all the drones and the Harry Potter and everything that is current to our world, and you go back 2,000 years ago and you look at the masses of people 2,000 years ago when they were writing the New Testament, and wait till we get to the New Testament because that's a whole different animal from where we are right now. When they were writing the New Testament, probably 90% of the people could not read or write. Definitely 80%. Probably 90% of the people could not read and write. The humans that were on the planet did not need to learn to read and write. What facilitated people learning to read? The printing press, a technological advancement. Before that, these scrolls were circulating around. It was very hard to get even one piece of literature because you had to pay a scribe to write the whole thing. You have to sit down and write it. Manuscript, a man, it's you have to write it. A human has to write a script, manuscript. How are you going to get that? You had to pay somebody to do it. You had to pay somebody to write out a legal document. You couldn't write anything. Do you understand how advanced we are that you can go and on your computer just type out a whole thing right now that it would have taken a scribe months to create? A book, it would have taken a scribe a year to write. You try writing even one book of the Bible by hand. Go do it right now. Just go write the book of Genesis by hand in ink. Look, with no electricity. With no electricity. And put a candle on. This is how we now, oh wow, leave our current. They didn't have electricity. You had a fire. You had a candle. You were hunched over. You didn't have a pen. They didn't invented pens yet. With the ink already just continuously feeding to the ball point of the pen, they had a quill. You dip it in ink. But first you had to go get the quill from a bird. Do you understand? See a bird that's dying. Oh, there's a bird that's dead. I got me 20 new pens. Pick the quills. Do you understand? Somebody had to make the ink. Then you had to go procure the ink, little bottle of ink, and sit it on the table. Hope it doesn't spill. Oh shoot, spilled my ink. Start again from scratch. Eat a little piece of bread and a crumb gets in the way. It drops in your ink and it turned the word the into that. And change the whole sentence. Oh shoot, because you were eating a snack over the manuscript. I mean, do we understand? I don't think we understand what we are dealing with. We just go in Barnes and Noble. Oh, I have a new devotional Bible. Look, isn't it nice? Oh, lovely. Do you even fathom what had to happen over thousands of years for you to walk in Barnes and Noble and just get a nice little Bible off the shelf and read it? And it says in Matthew 24:14, go therefore and make disciples. The great charge of a great commission. Matthew 28:19 and 20. For you to do that simple act drive your lovely car, park in a perfect parking lot. It's all paved. There's no horse and buggies around here. In a city with electricity. You go into a store and it's air conditioned because it's so hot outside. These people didn't even have air conditioning. They didn't even have fans. They had somebody, if you were rich in the palace, somebody was waving an ostrich feather at you. These people didn't have indoor plumbing. And then you walk in, you ask the person, hello, hi, Barnes and Noble person, thank you for being so helpful. Which way are the Bibles? Oh, all the Bibles are over here. Then you have all these Bibles. This is part of why this series exists. Do we understand what went into you being able to do that? And you pluck any Bible off the shelf you want, and you hold that book in your hand. Do you know how much death and destruction and pain and suffering and toil and wars and children and ancestors and stories that is vouchsafed in that book? Do you even know what you have in your hands in that book? And it doesn't matter if you have the Ethiopian version of the book, 81 plus books, if you have the Catholic version of the book, 70 something books, if you have the Protestant version of the book, 66, that's what I grew up on, right? 66 books of the Bible. It doesn't matter which of these versions you have, because Martin Luther didn't like the Apocrypha, so he kind of sidelined the Apocrypha. And then by the time it got later on and later on and later on, people started looking at the Apocrypha with the side eye, like, we don't like those books. And then next thing you know, but the Catholics said, well, we like them. And so they kept them, but the Protestants kept going. So when you got all the Baptists and the Episcopalians and the Methodists and all those people, then they're on 66. They're not on 70 something like the Catholic canon or 80 something like the Ethiopian canon. The Ethiopian is most complete, the most complete. So imagine that. And does it give you, this is what it did for me. It gave me a whole new love for the Bible, not because I think it came from God. I know it didn't come from God, not because of that, because of the human endeavor, the lives that went into, for all of our ancestors, that went into conveying these stories to us. People thought these stories were worth preserving. They were worth writing in the dark with a candle. They were worth translating. And so it could have been helpful for us to think that this came from God, because that's the only thing that would cause humans to be that at that level of reverence and care for all of these different books. And you still see it going on in scholarship now. The scholars are debating and talking about, what is this book? And then we find more books like the Dead Sea Scrolls. Wow. I mean, the Bible is extraordinary in its humanness. It's the best of us and it's the worst of us. That's what you got in the Bible. In the Bible, you have our heroes, you have our goddesses, you have our queens and our kings and our fighters for the light and our glorious conquerors. I have demons and devils and thieves and betrayers and cutthroats and backstabbers. It's so human. It's so human. It's so human. It's so human. And we know it's human when we read it. The YouTube channel is Set India. Ooh, and the serial is called Vignaharta Ganesha. It's about the life of the elephant-headed god Ganesha. The other is Ramayana, about life of Lord Rama, Hindi language, English subs. Oh, thank you so much. I'm gonna start watching that, because even when I was in India, I just love the temples. I love the iconography. I love the rituals. I love the whole vibe. Love the whole vibe. Love it. Matter of fact, I might be able to pull up for you one of the pictures of when I came from the Hindu temple and I had the dot on my head, the blessing on my head that the Hindu priest had given us. Let me see if I can pull that picture up for you before we conclude, because I've got to tell you something. When I went to the Hindu temple, I was changed. Changed. Let's see if I can find it, because I tell you, that was a long time ago. That was about 10 years ago when I was in India. That was about 10 years ago. So let's see if I can't pull up. Oh, I see China here. China was 2018. That was the last time I was in China. I think I may know where it is. Let me see if I can't find it. I'm going to actually find it, I believe, on my YouTube channel, because I think I did make a video about it on YouTube, and I'm going to go on screen share in a second. I went to the Hindu temple. If you bear with me for just a moment, I'm going to look it up for you. And oh my goodness, Ganesha is all over Bali. If you love Ganesha, you definitely got to go to Bali, because Ganesha is all over Bali, all over Bali. Let's go to 20. When was I in India? 2016, maybe 10 years ago. Let's see, where am I? I'm at 10 years ago. Child, let me tell you. Okay, hold on. Let me show you where this is. Let me show you what I'm looking at. I so love you. If no one told you today, I so love you. I so love your willingness to confront your own beliefs. Oh my goodness, I so love you. So if you go to Valerie Love YouTube channel, which you're on right now, or you could be on the Christian Witches YouTube channel, or you could be on the uh, Christian Witches Facebook, and you go to latest popular. Oh, let's just go to videos, and you have it. Yeah, you can put it on latest if you want. Oh, let's go to oldest, because I think I'll find it more easily. And you see, I still have my very first YouTube video that I ever uploaded. And wow, if you look at that, I'm a different person. A lot of these are members only, because they're just not videos that I would want circulating in the world of YouTube. Let me get to. I was still learning how to make YouTube videos. Let me get to India. Pretty sure I can find India in here. Uh, 10 years ago. Was I in India 10 years ago? Let's see. Self-sabotage. What are they feeding us in America? I must have been in Bali. That was 10 years ago. 2026, yeah, I was in Bali. I think I was in India. Wow, that's all Bali. That is all Bali. This is one of my favorite videos of all times. Oh, actually, no, this one right here. Why You're Still Broke, the solution. This is one of my favorite videos of all time. On, if you ask me, my favorite videos. Let's see. Bali. Okay. India would have been, that's Bali with me with 6 million rupiah in my hand. That was incredible. That's all Bali. That's Bali. That was my first experience in Bali, and it was incredible. Okay. I apologize. I am not seeing, oh, there's one of my tats. I'm not seeing India in here. So I've got to find that for you. Okay. I've got to find India for you. Oh, let me look up, let me search my channel. India. Oh, no, I'm not searching my channel. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? This is what I'm going to do. I am going to see if I can find the video of me in India after I had just come out of the Hindu temple, and we had the blessing, and they put the priest blessed your head. I've had my head blessed by a lot of priests and priestesses over the years, and holy workers and shamans and priestesses, and yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's read these comments. Let's read a couple of comments. Nelsia, much went into writing. The who benefited from deciding what it meant, and who paid the price for questioning it. Hello. These are the questions that we get to the bottom of. Much went into making sure these books were written. Who benefited? Yes. The we are getting to the bottom of that, aren't we, Danelsia? Aren't we, Danelsia? I got into it through my study of languages, and it was learning about the religious practices and stories in the scriptures that changed my life and stays a part of my everyday life now. Boom. There you have it. Thank you so much. Happy birthday, Ether. Thank you so much, Janelzia. That's beautiful. That's my first ever grandbaby. My first ever grandbaby. All right, family, coming to you from Dallas. I apologize for the lighting. I packed my light. I can't find it. And if I go back home and as I was repacking my bag, I thought about one bag and another bag, and then I held my pendulum over the bag to see which one was the best. And the pendulum showed me the bag that was the best, and it was correct, of course. And I think when I did that switcheroo, I think I left my light. So pardon the not good lighting. It's all good. I will see you tomorrow. Mwah. Peace. Love you.